Hi, Michael. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
How are
Thank you so
you?
much for having me.
It's my pleasure. How are you doing today?
Great. How about you?
I'm also doing good, thanks. So, congratulations on being selected as one of the first participants for this boot camp execution. Uh, it's just a trial basis, so I'm not a podcaster or any. I have never done this one-on-one session in this format. At least it was always just going and talking about charts when I was doing one-on-one in my earlier mentorship days. So again, welcome to this session. So before we start or look at the charts, I want to know a little bit about you. Uh, just give a brief introduction about yourself, your trading journey, and are you like a full-time trader or you're just doing this while you're also doing a day job? Anything that can give some for our viewers. Let's see who Michael is.
Yeah. So I started trading like 8 months ago. I started with the 2022 mentorship and then worked my way through various mentorships that are out there. And in the mentorship prior to this one, I got introduced to the concept of GBT, and then I wanted to learn more and went directly to the source. So I've been part of this GBT community for about 3 months, a bit over 3 months.
Hmm.
And yeah, it definitely helped me a lot because I like to trade more intraday. I'm currently also in between jobs. So I would say I'm at the moment a full time trader.
Hmm.
Um, so being able to take those or to be able to trade all the swings is something that I really look forward to.
Okay, great. So give me your honest opinion on GB time community. Like, do you see the concepts working? Do you see, I mean, in hindsight, at least, do you see this algo path working?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, there will always be setups that end up not working. You also take losses.
Yeah,
But most of the time, and especially in hindsight, you definitely can see it.
yes, right. I mean, that is the first thing that even allowed me to go into this rabbit hole because every time I went into the hindsight chart, the times actually stopped at these algo paths, right? And that's when I thought, okay, there must be something here, and that led me to research more into it. And that is the first thing that I want members to see. Obviously, when you join, when you're just 3 months in, you're not going to be able to trade every swing or read the market uh, in such a efficient manner, right? It's not going to happen. But at least in hindsight, when you go back and see, okay, are these algo paths are stopping at the right times? What is being taught in the Discord? Is it still working, or does it only work for me? Right? That is what I want people to understand first. Okay. So you've given 3 months of time to GBT, which is great. I always tell people to at least give it 35 days before they give up or look for something else. Now you have given almost 90 days. So what
Yeah,
are
no, you definitely need time. You definitely need time to
yeah,
see it working out. So I've seen a lot of progress, especially with your YouTube series on the live trading that
right.
helped me immensely.
Okay, thank you. So what are the current challenges that you have? Is I know that the reason why am I doing this execution bootcamp is everybody can watch videos, they can learn theory, they can read books, but it all comes down to execution, right? So is it that is that your main challenge? Like you're not able to execute? What is the otherwise, what is the biggest challenge that you currently have?
Yeah, I definitely would say it's the execution part.
Hmm.
Um, it's either getting stop loss by a turtle soup or going break even way too early because I don't want to risk anything,
Hmm.
especially if you have a pretty tight entry, you can go break even quite fast,
Yeah.
but because also the range is so small, you can get break even faster. And the last thing a swing high and then immediately a swing low. So we turn the direction where we are going. I'm not confident enough to reverse the position immediately.
Right. Okay. So let's see how I can help you in this session. So are you a prop firm trader or is it live funds that you
Yeah,
use?
no, it's a prop firm at the moment.
Okay. So that is even more big of a challenge because of all the drawdowns and consistency rules and everything, right? So it adds more
Yeah,
to
so
the
I,
complexity.
of course.
Okay. And do you have a setup? Like I know a few people who already have a model and they use time to enter and exit. Like, do you follow ICT or do you have? Are you used to have some kind of a strategy earlier?
I did, but it was more one setup a day strategy. And as I'm trading more intraday now, I'm actually focusing on the model that you taught us with the first percent fair value gaps, tracking the paths, and also looking at our 27-minute gaps to see reaction from them.
Okay, thank you. So we I get a basic understanding of where you're coming from and what you're currently doing. So this session is where I would want to see your viewpoint on the current price action. So if you can you share your chart and just walk me through what you think?
Yeah, okay. Give me a second.
Yes.
Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. So I've been tracking an Algo 1 at the moment. So we have a 41 high here, a 44 low here, and now I would see a reaction at around 307, which we did at the 27-minute gap.
Right.
So this is where I would look. So I try to only engage at CE time.
Yes.
So I would not take this trade. I might take it with low size, but let's see where 7 prints. Because
Right.
3 could also be a rejection block, and we're trending upwards all the time.
Exactly. So you can, if you go back some bars below here, so you can see algo 1 that you're tracking all the time the CEs are pushing the price higher, right? Wherever you see 41, the 44s are pushing higher. Now this is where I caution you guys always to execute at CE time. Otherwise, you'll have to give back or you'll have to incur some losses, right? Okay, so now what is the time? Is it 1607?
Yeah,
Sorry, is
so
it 907?
807, we have, let's see if we form a low.
Okay. So this is where I would try to take a trade because see the 3 is a rejection block, right? And 3 has a wick on the bearish
Mm-hmm.
side. So this is where I would take a little bit of an aggressive entry and say, okay, 7, I will challenge the market and say, okay, I will try to short at 7. Now this might not work out, but anyways, any trade is not a 100% guarantee. But I would use that rejection block that got created at 3 as my PDRA to get in.
Even if we created a 7 gap here.
Yeah, right now the 7 gap is here. I mean, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, yeah, this is a bad idea right now. But I would go aggressively if as soon as this hit the 3 rejection block, I would go short. Then what will happen is that my SL will be too small, even if I get it wrong. But right now,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you waiting was the right idea, and 7 created a low, and there is a gap. So now you can probably enter in that gap.
Let's see if price returns. So given that we have a 7 low, I then would wait for 23, or if I'm in a trade, I would look to exit at around 17. But let's see if we can even get an entry. Would you enter here? Because we are about to create another value gap here. just to be in this expansion, or would you just wait it out?
Yeah, I mean, there is also a chance of 8 and 9 also coming and creating a high, and it could reverse on us, right? Because that is also uh, a 7, right? 8 is just plus 1 of 7, so it could turn us. But meanwhile, if you look at what is the low that we have, that we took liquidity, that is also very important to know which time can form a high. So the last liquidity
So
sweep is,
it's 44.
yeah, but the minute is 46, right? So it is like 45 or 46.
47, right?
Right. So it's going to create a 11, sorry, 3 or a 7. That's going to give you 11 as well. So now 8, 11 can also be 3, or it could go to 8, 15, which is also 7.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this
So
is
I
the,
would, because of the seed time, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So since 46 is the low, so you should be looking at, although you know you are in Algo 1 because 740 made the high, 747 is still 40, so it is like a mirror that is being played out, right? So we know we are in Algo 1 and we are looking for 3, but how we are looking for 3 is based on this, the minute 46 47, because it has to match the path on the minute scale as well, right? So that's why your 3 didn't react, your 7 created was in the lows, and now 11 is being created in the highs. Okay, but I wouldn't take a trade here because 815 is still 17 and it could manipulate you even further high, and you have a 27-minute fair value gap that you have already marked. So this is a very good high probable area where you could get a short.
Mm-hmm. So given this low here, you would not look to engage at this 3 or 7 because you would want to see a combination of like 11, 14 and 3, 7?
Exactly. Yeah, that is the, that is how the market will try to fit the algo path, while also it is playing a different algo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now if you look at, we were coming from, the high is also 730, so anyway 740 is not 35, but if it was 741 then it was 34, right, when you subtract. So then you could say that there is a reverse algo 2 that is starting here from 741 to
Yeah.
747, right? But I would try to take a trade at 815, 814, 815, and we'll face the consequence whatever it happens. But if it comes down into this 7 gap, then I would also try to buy. So you can mark the 7 gap here, and the 50% is pretty sensitive there. So if the 50% area is respected with no body close, then we can long.
So in this case, you would wait for a low to form, right? Or
Yes.
would you immediately want to enter if price touches the fair value gap?
At the right time. So we have another 1 or 2 minutes. So if this 814 comes into this gap, I will take a trade. And this is also like a single gap, right? Like the first presented gap. So market either has to react here or break us down. It can only do two things. And the high here is not a CE number, like 810, 811 is not a
Mm-hmm.
CE time. So I don't think this would be the high. And order flow is also bullish, so I would want to see continuation.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're now at the right time, right? With
Yeah, so
814.
I entered, I mean, I'm just being aggressive, and I'll put my SL below
Mm-hmm.
this low of the FEG.
Oh, okay. At the 7 low, so to speak.
Yeah, 7 low. Yeah.
Interesting. It did not wick into the gap. But I'm on M and Q, so this might be a difference.
Ah, okay.
But what I would do here is if we create a low, so we form a swing low, then I would look to enter and put
Yeah.
my SL. But in this case, I would put my stop loss below the 814 candle.
Yeah, but that is not an invalidation level, right? Like you are breaking a trade based on the fair value gap, the 7 fair value gap to hold. So this is where the range is also pretty tight. So I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
is your risk, especially on MNQ, because say if you entered at the 50% of that gap, and your SL would be around 8 points at the low of that 7 candle. So would that be acceptable stop loss for you? Because that
Yeah, for sure.
14 low is pretty tight. Do you like
So
trading these trending markets, or do you do well when the market is
I
choppy?
actually hate it. I always do worse in trending markets
Yeah,
because I want to see the reversal and it's never happening.
yeah, it's the same for me because we are
And
all conditioned to trade reversals from ICT.
yeah.
So it's always going to be okay. This is the high. This is the high. We'll never trade the continuations.
But if the CE makes like the low in a bullish trending market, it's fine. If it's the other way around, then it's a
Yeah.
bit worse.
So the 734 making a low is like a very good clue for us to know this is going to be a bullish market.
The what? Sorry, the 740? 4.
734, 34. Yeah, 35, right? So there is a 35 volume imbalance. That's where the price. I'm speaking on mini Nasdaq.
Uh, yeah, thank you. Sorry. So I usually also chart on NQ, but given that I want to show the executions here, I decided to use MNQ.
Yeah. I mean, with prop firms, it is better to do MNQ because of all the drawdowns.
Yeah.
Just
No, I
one
would
trade
have
can
owned
wipe
too
you
many
out.
accounts. Would you look to add another contract if we go into the wick of the 14 candle? Because
Yeah.
we still didn't sweep any liquidity.
Right. Yeah. So for me, since 23 is not making the high, so I can still use this gap to enter as many times as I want. As soon as 21, 22 starts making the high or it takes some liquidity, then I'll be out. Because we are all now looking at 823, right? 823 for us to be the resistance.
Hmm.
So we still are away like 3 minutes. So if it dips into the gap, I will buy. Now in this at 8 o'clock, 822 is also 14. So it could be like using
A mirror.
the same mirror 14 to push higher. So this is all you need to do calculations in your mind. Okay, why is this chopping right now? Why is this not going higher? So believe in the algorithm where okay 7 CE 7 made a gap. CE is meant for a gap, and unless it is violated, I won't be bearish. So if you make that in your mind, then you won't fear this chop. Okay,
Hmm.
because that also helps us trying to challenge the market. Market always beats us, So it's time to challenge it back. But one takeaway that you have to do is right that look at the lows 46, 47, and although you are tracking 3, it should be at 8, 11 or 8, 14, right? That's the right way to think rather than just trying to think 803 or 807 where you are going to give loss.
Makes sense. Okay. Will you still look to engage here after this displacement candle into the value gap?
Yeah, I mean, what changed for you here? Think about that. I mean, we are not talking about loss
Mm.
or profit here. All we are thinking
Mm-hmm.
from a process perspective, what did change here? Nothing changed, right? 817 made a high, which is not a CE number. 8010 made 810 made a high, which is also not a CE time. So I'm not convinced that this is going lower, although it is making displacement and all that. For me, the next candle could go at 822, 823, take this 817 high, and that is where I'll be convinced. Okay, the market is going lower. But right now, nothing suggests me that I should be out of this trade. Why do you think? Like, why are you scared, or why are you thinking that this could go, or this 7 gap is not gonna hold?
I don't know. It's just this consolidation, and then we get displacement lower.
Okay.
But you're right. Nothing has changed, especially in terms of Algo Path, and this is probably something that I need to work on.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't trust the algo path, then everything becomes random, right? I mean, losing
Yeah.
is a part of the game. Even if you trade any other concepts, you are going to lose a trade. But having this map for me right now is a good buy because this is 822, 23 is going to form in the
Mm-hmm.
low. But good to wait until the low is created because the range is pretty small as well. So it's not going. You're not going to get a big move.
What if 23 now creates a CB, so a bearish gap?
Yeah, then we are wrong. Then we should think about.
Okay.
Yeah, my stop loss is about to get hit. Okay, but still,
Mine too.
from a
Okay.
process wise, not convinced that this is going to be bearish, unless, as you said, now we get a CB here and then we inverse. Now it has to work here within the next one candle, or else the high is made at 10.
So if we create this bearish fair value gap, you would look to short when you retrace back into it?
Yes. So it is the same concept now, like how we looked at 7 as the gap here. Now 823 is 15 gap, right, which is a CE timed gap.
So now we have a low. Would you now look for a long or a short, given that we have the gap?
I have to look at
Because
this gap to be inversed, the 823 gap. Otherwise,
then you take a long.
yes.
And when do
If
you know not to take the long and take the short instead?
so now if 826 makes a low, then I know it's not the right time because 826 will go at the time will be 18. So I want this 823 to be the part of this low. Then the path gets met like 10 to 24. If this candle goes below 825, 826, then it's, and say look at that, the 50% is really respected here, the 823 gap. Okay, now we know it's going lower.
So now you would look for a short in the retrace of the gap.
Yes, or since already the retracement is done, I can take a risk. And again, this is all like how you would manage. Okay, and again you have to challenge the market saying you're not going to retrace. And now what do you think where it should stop? Now high is 10, right? So the minute has to match.
If the high is 10, then I would say we have to look for 41.
Right, right. So that's my idea as well, right? So it could stop at 832, which is also 24, but then I would think, okay, why will 10 stop at 32? That's not the right uh, time. So I would, like you, I would also think it will drop until 840 unless it teaches us something.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks good right now because the 7 gap was violated. The 1423 gap is, which is again a CE gap, which was respected. So we could see a dump. But now what is the area that you are looking where reversal could happen, right? Always know your 35s where they could reverse the position or where you should TP your positions. So until it can come to take until 746 low.
Short one here. You mean to look at the 35s
Yeah,
for potential resistance and support areas? So we have a 35 here.
yeah.
And in terms of first presented gaps, I would look at this gap as like a probably final TP if we get this far. This would be great. But for that, we need a lot of speed. So with the 11 high, you would look only for a swing low to form at a path that matches in terms of the minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we should always match the path with two paths. So for me, if the market is going all the way back to 10 high, then it has to meet either 17, which we tried, or 23, which gave us a bearish gap. And the next option from 23 is 41. So you have to write down these options. Okay, so 10 is my high. Where does 10 go in algo path? So 10 can go to 0 0, or sorry, 10 can go to 41, or let me write 41. 11 can go to 23, 11 can go to 47 53, So only these numbers can reverse this.
But couldn't we look for also like 830 or 831 to
Yeah,
be a mirror of 23?
that's also an option, but again from a minute perspective it's not making sense. What it can do
Okay.
is it can create a 28 low and then probably 35 will fall, because 28 is the GB time, 35 is the CE time.
So you would always look that the minutes match.
Yeah, that is why I kind of emphasize on the fact that you should start learning two paths at a time. Say assume that you
Mhm.
don't know any algo path or anything. Now why this price is coming down? Because 46 met with 11. Now is 8 11 3? We don't know, or the normal GB time trader might not know that 8 11 is also 3. All they are doing is trying to match a path. 47 is the low, 11 is the high. I will go short. I will check at 14. Okay, 14 broke, so I am going to sell. Now even we could go and retest that 14 at 35, and that's where I will try to add more. Now this is where it becomes really challenging, because you have FEGs that the market can go and mitigate, and if you entered way too early, now you are just catching up, playing catch up, or you are just fighting the fire.
Mm-hmm.
But at this moment I am not thinking this will go all the way to 10.
So you would think 35 brings us down so that we can get a swing low at 41,
Yes,
something like
it
this.
has to, right? It has
Mhm.
to. Then immediately if you think if 35 is the swing high, will it stop at 41, or will it go to 848 where it meets 35 to 47 and also 41?
Because it's not a path on the minute scale, I see. So we need 48. Okay.
Right. This is why executing at CE time is very important. Now I entered way too early at 28, trying to short, trying to think that it will just dump, right?
Yeah, me too.
And this is where we can really blow the account or anything just by doing stupid things, where our patience is tested. When we go
Mm.
back in hindsight, there is nothing that tells us that we should have shorted right here. Now you see we retested that 14 and price started dropping.
Hmm. Would you look to add a contract here if we form a swing high?
Yeah, and this is where you learned how to firefight it, right? Because you entered early, you want to average it, so that your profit becomes better.
Hmm.
And you said you had challenges in not immediately flipping the bias, right?
Yeah, totally.
The other things that you will always learn is, I always talk about these start times and end times of the path, right? So if you look at where we took support, it is at 0 0, right? So you should always be wary of where the price is stopping. So it is stopping at 0 0, 0 3, 0 7. There you should at least TP or not try to enter there. Okay, I'm just showing the reality of trading, where while you are analyzing price live, you're not going to know everything. In hindsight, everybody can say,
Hmm.
right? But in live, not everybody will be looking at everything. That's just impossible. But price needs a reason to stop, and these are the very important reasons where it could stop.
Okay. So just the lows of the candles.
Yeah, and that's also your first presented gap there, 8 o'clock, after the order blocks were placed. Today London session has been pretty weird. It's just going in one direction. It's not an ideal environment to play GB times.
I have to try Asia, but I sleep at that time.
Now, what are your thoughts? Like, is it going higher?
I mean, if we displace through the 35 with a BC, I think we would have to see what 41 does.
Okay.
But
So that's also
so
one
if
thing, right? Like, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
so if we have a 29 low, a 41 high would not make sense, would it?
Perfect. No, right? No. So it has to go to 848.
So you think we go higher until 848
No, I
or
think this
47?
35 is going to, now with turtle soup, right? So it's going to dump.
Okay, but when is it like a valid turtle soup? Because this is not a number, so 838 is not a GB or CE time.
Yeah, but 837
Might be.
is 29, right? So it's just making the mirror. So one more clue
Uh,
that I will give you, or a hint, is anytime you are looking for, say for example, this 829. Okay. Now 829 can be stopped by few numbers, few times. One is its own mirror, which is 837. Okay. Or
mhm.
else the algo path, which is 848 or 847, or its CE number, which is 835. So always you have to watch out for this mirror. So what is the job of the mirror is that it's going to tell you change the direction of the algo. So 828 you are thinking bullish, but 837 said it is bearish. It's the same number 29.
Yeah.
So same example that I gave you in one of the reviews for New York Open price action.
Yes, I remember. Okay.
So we firefighted and at least in green now instead of giving back the money. And this is where the concept of first presented fair value gap also comes into picture. Now if you think all these FEGs are mitigated, the bearish gaps, right? So
Yeah.
the job is done. So you shouldn't be afraid unless your entire theory is wrong. You shouldn't be afraid of these retracements. Yeah. And to win you have to trade like this. It's not never going to be a perfect entry or a perfect exit. It's always going to be the path will help you decide okay which direction this is going.
So in terms of trade management, would you say this 29 mirror high is valid to put my stop loss here?
Yes,
Because
because
in theory we shouldn't go above it, right?
exactly. And is unless it comes 847, which is also a mirror. Now 838 is a if, if it has to be broken then 846 will break it, because 846 is mirror of 838. So you shouldn't be afraid until that time. And you might not make big money here because of our bad entries and small range, but always understand the whether the theory works out, and then you know you got plenty of opportunities like this throughout the day, and you can always make back your losses. As long as your risk is managed, obviously. Now obviously if I go 10 contracts here, then I blow the account, then I can't do anything about it.
Would you say we swept liquidity with those lows? I mean, the indicator did not print a swing low here.
For
But
me
is
it
this a
did.
valid liquidity sweep?
Yeah, for me it
Oh,
did
okay.
print this 834 liquidity low, so I cut the contracts there, but you could hold it till 847. Now 847 will achieve what? It will also achieve 11 to 47 as a path. It will also achieve this 35 to 47 also. And remember you were tracking algo 1, right? 0011, sorry, 41 3.
Yes.
And that's what you got here, the high as 810. So one way to always trade, like if you are confused, always enter at the first presented gap or even on 1 minute. So there the market has to decide whether it wants to go up or continue down. So that is the best entry setup that you can get.
Mm-hmm. So if you look for a low, and our last liquidity sweep is the 38 high.
Yeah. So which I would know it
38.
as 29, right? Because 38 is not a
Okay.
GB number.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know. I see.
So now you know it's looking at 47, right? At least minimum 40, 46. So that is where I would take my most all the position here, because we are coming to close to the 29 low as well. We have 0 0 gap as well. So here in this market condition, if you had a good entry, you would make around 20 points, which is not bad. This is a great example for so many people to learn, because it teaches you about mirroring techniques, how to implement them, not get afraid. It also teaches you how to look for, if the market is about to reverse, it is only going to reverse as per the path. 10 to 28 low doesn't make any sense, right? So it's just going to retrace to fill the gaps and dump, and now 46 can reverse or
Let's
whatever,
see.
like these mitigation times can reverse. Okay, so was it a good trade example for you to learn? I hope some learnings you got from this.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I look forward to rewatch the recording.
Yeah.
So would you look to engage here already, but even if it's not a CE?
uh, I wouldn't, because yeah, as you said, it's not CE, right? But now think about a little bit back. Now this is where not many people will grasp it, but you were only talking to me and telling me that you are following Algo 1, right? So you were following 844, 744 here, and then you were looking for 3.
Yes.
So you got that at 811. Now where is your 17? So in this 830 could be 22, because it was in the wick. 828 wick, you had 830, and we could tell that is that as 22. Now 844 is 36. So do you think Algo 1 ended here?
Wait a minute. So you mean we have subtraction of option of 23 here? Can you ask the question again, please?
So you are marking your algos, right? So let me, so you marked 44 there below, right? So when we started the
Yes.
call, you were at 44 and you were tracking 3.
Yes,
So you got it at the 811 high,
we did.
and then you have to check for 23 or 17, which is 830.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the last option of 35 in this hour, which is 844?
For the 35.
Yes. So you see how this puzzle gets trickier, and also how you can easily get lost in the other paths, right? You are not even following Algo 1 completely, because we were talking about
Mm.
10, 29, 35, 47. But this is the practice that you need to put in to see, okay, which bigger algo that you are tracking. Now if you are confident, then you should be able to long this 844. Once that 844, there is no gap there. So if you think this is the end of the algo, this is where you should long.
No.
So I would normally allow a turtle soup because that happens, because you have to challenge the market in saying, okay, I have a 36, break it and prove me wrong. If you just do a turtle soup, I'm going to add more position, or I'm going to flip the bias if you create a fair value gap there.
Okay. Yeah, holding through such drawdown is tough.
Yeah, so now this is like really a good fair value gap, like good displacement below.
Yeah.
Right.
Would you immediately look to reverse, or would you look to for a retrace back into the gap? Or would you wait for the gap to be created?
Yeah, I would wait because of, say, if it is New York time or something, New York session or something, then you can immediately flip, because then the price will not
Mm.
chop, it will just go to the liquidity. But here
Mm-hmm.
it could chop, it could come back to take this high at 847 and then dump, and then we'll be in a bit of a trouble. So yeah, I mean, it depends on your personality. Like if I understand you, you are like very calm and you want to wait for more confluences before you take a trade, right? Some people like me who are very impulsive will take the trade and will just face the result. So now waiting was a better idea, right? Because now the gap is almost plugged in.
But this looks for me like a turtle soup,
Exactly, right?
not that we go even lower.
Correct. Now this is also a CE time, 50. So this is what is ICT's Venom model. Like whenever 35 gets total souped using and creates a BPR, a balanced price range, which means FEGs on both sides. That's his Venom model.
So you think we created BC here to have a BPR?
Yeah. So the 850 is a
Okay,
CB, and now 852, if it
it's
holds,
gonna.
that's your BPR.
Okay, so now we have the 50 low. But would you look at this low also at as a 41?
You
So
can,
during subtraction?
yeah, you can, but why 41? Like what is the path that you're following? If it is matching with a 41, then you can. So we have like now 837, which is 29. That is our reference.
Yeah,
So
so there's
29,
no matching path to a 41.
yeah, 29 is going to 50. So for me, this is now a CE time, and I'll be only worried about 56 because that is also the last CE time of this mitigation time. Otherwise, I'm not worried. It should go until 11.
In terms of trade management, would you think that this 50 holds? Because we could theoretically come below the 50 again
Yeah,
and create a 56 swing low.
correct. So the this is the waiting game, right? So which everybody will lose here somewhere, because lack of patience, and you're trying to think, okay, this is the CE and enter. Now 56 can come back lower and then again go high.
So having a stop loss at the 50 low is probably not the best because
No,
if it comes lower, we probably should go even higher.
correct. So that's why putting a stop loss in
Mm-hmm.
the system is always risky, unless you're
Yeah.
trading at the absolute last option of time. So here, if you blindly long at 56, then that might work out because there is no other mitigation time. And if you put a tight SL around 56, also is it will work out for you.
So with a London Open at 9 a.m., do you have any precautions? Because 0-0 is always doing its magic.
Yes.
Did you look for?
Yeah, I mean that is the candle that I try to stay away, because even though this might go to 11, but that 9 o'clock candle
Mm-hmm.
can really spoil your SLs and everything. It is similar to
So you would
your New
exit the
York Open
trade,
candle. Yeah. If I am in a trade at
and will
around
you then look?
47.50, then I will cut it at zero.
Okay, interesting. And would you then look to engage knowing not much of volatility?
Sorry, your voice broke a bit there. Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, sure. So you would cut the trade before 0-0 or right around 0-0, and would you then look to engage again after the zero candle printed?
Yeah, because I mean, I would wait to see if it creates a high, because I have told you this logic that 47.50 can go to 0
Yeah,
0, because they both have
mhm.
destination of 11, right? And this is where
Yeah, I'm
it could
familiar with
start a
that.
new algo as well, new algo 1 as well. So now do you think there is a reverse algo to being played out? So from this 35 to 50.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So we'll wait until this 57, 56. If it creates a high, then this is the invalidation level for algo 2 reverse, right? From 56 it could just dump, and it we have a lot of liquidity on the sell side. So when you look in hindsight now it looks okay. It delivered all these 317.29, but it used different numbers or subtraction option of those numbers. And this is where you need to get used to. It was
Mm,
not very simple minutes
that's
that was in play today. So it took equal highs here at 57. So that is also our 56.
so. gonna exit here before we see the London Open.
Oh, so you're holding your shorts till there. Okay, you're trailing your stop
No,
loss
no, no, no. I was in a long.
from 50. Okay.
Yes. I wanted to see what 0 0 does. Wow, okay. I
That
should
was
have
a
held, I
crazy
guess.
push, yeah. And you can also see how that 857 high was not allowed to print because of this expansion at 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the CE time created a volume imbalance at 856 as well, so that is where the price took support. So again the same logic, CE time gaps that tells you the direction, or CE time highs and lows will tell you the direction. Now if you look at the biggest, the highest high here before the fall, which is 10. Now 10 to 50 make a sense, right? Because they have a relationship, 11 to 50.
Yes.
Right? 11 to 28 doesn't make any sense. Although this is the end of the path like 29, but you shouldn't be afraid.
So would you classify this as a 0 0 at the highs?
Now if it creates a high, yes, because 901 is
Mm.
still 9 o'clock, so I would use that as 00.
And you would use it rather as 0 0 than a free, because it could be a free if this is a swing high.
Yeah.
So given we would create a swing high with the 0 0, would you look to for a short? Because in that, I would probably wait to see a 14 print in the lows to take a long.
Yes, I would, because we have the same destination of 11 for both of these algos. And this is also a mirror. If you look at 852, 851, 852 is 00 as well, 60 which is 00. So always remember this, the rule that I told you. If there is a low or a high,
Oh, yes.
it can only be
Mm-hmm.
brought down by its own mirror or its path. Right? So if this low high holds, then we can short. It didn't hold,
Yeah.
right? It went to 903 now. Now longing here is doesn't make sense for me because of the risk to reward. But if it comes below in this gap, 00 gap, I can definitely long until 11.
But you would want to see a 7 low print in the gap, right?
Yes. Now even you go back. Now in hindsight, this is how you should learn. Now you go back
Mm-hmm.
and try to map the path from 747. Okay. So just two paths you play out. So 747 goes to 811, right? So you have 47 to 11 path, and then it goes to 822 or 830, which is 22, right? Then from 11 to 23, where
Yes.
it should go? It should go to 59, and that's where it creates a low at 851. So you see how your
In terms of reverse algo too. Yes. Okay.
right? So this is also playing reverse algo 2, this is also playing algo 1 that you were tracking, and you were successful in getting at least one trade out of it. But the more you learn like this, then you can predict, okay, so this 47 11 23, so I should be thinking about 59. And how it arrived at 59 is also a bit of a puzzle. It arrived from 29 to 50, it created another reverse algo to arrive at 59, right? You're seeing
But
this.
then short at 3 or 7 would be valid.
It
No.
would be valid, yes, but
Hmm.
again apply the principle. So since the low is 50, will it go to the minute 7 or will it do 15 11 or 14?
Ah. Okay. So same principle as
Same principle
earlier,
as
probably.
here, right? This
Yeah.
is where a lot of people get tricked,
Mm-hmm.
because they see, okay, this is 59, this is 3, okay, I will short, and they'll forget about this 7. And this 7 is also not important. For this low to be taken, it has to form a 3, I mean 11, which can also give you 3 or 7. So you can already predict at 9 o'clock it will be either 9:12, which is 3, or around 9:15, which is 6. So only these numbers can bring it all the way back.
Okay, so that I understand that correctly. You would. Okay, yeah. So you would look for a 7 low here in this gap to form, and then you would hold it until 9:15.
9:15, 9:16, yeah. So you see how the market
So
tries to
that
satisfy
7,
both the paths.
yeah. But we probably create a gap. So when we create a gap with 7, you would think we go lower to create a swing low at 9:15, 9:16.
Then you should think, okay, where are we coming from? We are coming from 903. Yeah, then 9:15, 9:16 makes sense.
16. Yeah, because we also have the 17 then.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so this is like, it's a everyday puzzle. So it's not going to be, when you're tracking the whole paths, it's not going to be so easy, but it's very rewarding when you can be one step ahead of the market.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll go just two contracts here just to see whether it will hold, and I'll put this SL below this low, because if the price has to go higher, it has to do now.
Okay. Even if we have this gap here.
Yeah, because for me 50 low shouldn't come from 3 high, 50 low shouldn't be tackled at 3 high, right? So for me, I think it will go retest this wick at around 15, 9:15 to fall, or it could even go
Okay.
and take the high before it comes down. This is where I could go wrong, but it's where you're trusting the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
without over complicating all of this algo path stuff, if we stuck to just minute path matching, you would still take almost the same trades. Right? 47 to 10, and then 35 to 50, and you would aim for the highs that where we were coming from. So if you longed at 50, you would take out at 28.38 high.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's why I emphasize on tracking just two paths if you are still struggling to grasp the entire algo tracking path, right? I mean, it is not needed. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, but I just feel if you want to advance, you have to grasp the
Yeah, I mean,
full
with
concept.
your experience now with 3 months, I think you're better to look at the entire path, because that's how you're going to accelerate your learning. But someone who is very new to it, the same analysis which we did from the last 1 hour, it could be done with only two paths as well.
Yeah. And if you don't have this much experience, this is very much confusing.
But now you know some tricks of it, like it's easy now. Okay, whenever you see a 4750, you're not immediately worried about 0307. You'll only wait until you get a 3 or a 7, also with the 11 minute. Right, these are the things that will really take you to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure most of the people would have shot at 8803 and they would have lost, and then they would have longed 807, and then they would have complained, okay, why did 11 go to 7 go to 10, right? 7 is supposed to go to 23. Now we hit 912. Now look at how it achieves that. So it hits the rejection block of 901, which is the high, right? That rejection block was never broken.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where I would take some contract off, because we are not
Like a
seeing a
break
big
even.
push to the upside, right? And I also say that, okay, whenever you have a wick already that took liquidity, like a high, and if we go and rest in that wick the next time, it's most likely like an algo path is met. Okay, so right now we are coming at 9.
So
Yeah, please go ahead.
this 901 wick is the high you would look for. Because let me rephrase it. If 911 would have created a high, you would have counted it as a valid high
Yes,
because it was
correct,
in the rejection wake of
correct.
901. Okay. Okay.
So that is also one clue that you have to always keep in mind. So it's not always going to be, okay, you see 850 low and 903 high, doesn't make any sense. But if 911 came and sat in that 903 wick, then that is also a valid path, like where the 50 to 11 path met.
Okay.
Okay, see, now this is the advantage of trading with Algo Path, right? Like how that 9 o'clock gap held at 0708, which is the CE time. It showed the direction to you, and you would have made around 29 points by now. And now I can exit. Now I don't have to hold on to my ego and say it should give me more points. Now 50 to 15 path met. I can even go short if I want, because if I trust my algo paths, or I can wait
But
until the high is being met or high is formed.
mhm. But we are now at 914. So this would not satisfy the 717 path.
Even that is a good observation, yeah, because 3 took liquidity, so 7 is yeah, good.
The C.
So yeah, it could go until 916. Right? Yeah, you're getting it, which is good. Now let me ask you a question. So if the price continues higher, right, and if this 15 high is not made or 14 high is not made, what is the next possible scenario that you can think where market can reverse?
At around 923, because it's 23 on the minutes, and if you use subtraction, you would have minus 14.
Yeah, yeah, that's intelligent. I didn't think about it. Yeah, but it is good. What if there was no 7 low here? What if it was only 50? Then that 923, would it work?
Oh, sorry, you were cutting out. Maybe it's my internet.
Sorry, what if
Can you
the
repeat it again?
907 was not the low and you had 851 as the reference? Would then 923 still work?
I didn't fully understand it. Sorry. 50 low is the only low, or what do you mean?
Now you are also taking into consideration 7 as a reference, right? That's why you are telling me 23
Yeah,
would work
because
on.
free swept the leg.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So what if 3 didn't sweep a liquidity and we just pumped higher from 50 low?
Then I would look at the last possible. Um, or because we also have to meet a path. I mean, I would intuitively look for the last possible option of 11 or 14 using subtraction, but then we don't have a matching path with 50
Yeah.
in terms of the minutes.
Yeah, that's where it could be like interpreted this 851 as 59, and 59 can also go to 23, right? Maybe, I don't know. I was
Yes,
just thinking
yes.
loud. So maybe that is where your theory would work out, where 923 is also satisfied at 59, and then as you said, subtraction option is 14, which could satisfy the 850 option. Right. Yeah. So your idea is right
Mm-hmm.
now. 918 made a high. So would you like to short now, or would you wait until 23? Because we need
I
to
mean, that
trade
a
at CE times.
bit, yeah, a bit depends, because I would say that we still want to see some sort of 14 or 11. And now I'm not so sure if I can count this and this wick as well, because if we look at this, we would have our 14, and if we look at this, we have our 17.
Correct.
So I'm not sure if that's like valid in your sense.
Yeah, there is
I mean,
already
it's
a
not
CE
C, we can
here.
say that.
There is already a CE at 14, and here 17 met your path from 7. Right. So in this scenario, I
So
wouldn't
you,
wait until 23. I would immediately short.
okay.
Because understand from a market perspective why it chopped around was because it had to meet the 3 path, 3 to 17 path. Otherwise, it was very easy for it to fall right at 914.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this time distortion or whatever they call this chop is just baiting time to reach that. Now it can even chop until 23 and come back into the wick and then fall. Right, but you are executing at CE time only because 914 is still CE. and this can easily come to
Yes.
50 low.
So I'm currently not in the trade. I would have a limit order in the wake of our 918 candle. How would you approach this if you want to get in the move? Because 23 could theoretically give us
Yeah, if
the
23,
swing low and we go higher.
correct. So if 23 makes a low, then we are in trouble. So if 23 comes into the wick, then it's a very good entry for you.
To short.
Yes, to short. Now I think it can go down because we accumulated enough, and then now we retested the high, and now everything is met, path is met, everything is met, it can melt. Now we have a nice low resistance liquidity run where there is no uh, sell side liquidity sweep, so it can easily dump to this 50 low. That's a very good entry that you got, right? So this is also a learning that I want to tell all the members or the other people who wouldn't get a one-to-one session, right? Entries in the rejection block is the right entry, because even in Hopi Plaka's hierarchy, rejection block comes first, and then order block, then FEG. So rejection block gives you the best entries, and then you should trade at the order blocks, and then you should trade at the fair value gaps. So this is where, what are the thoughts that are running in your mind? Like if I didn't know about Goldbach, Algo Paths, I would
Hmm.
be panicking because it is not
Yeah,
going right. It's not going in my direction immediately.
yeah, probably wouldn't even look at this price action, to be honest, because it's such a small range and it's not super clean.
Correct. But with the path, do you feel at least confident enough to execute and see if it works?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that is the edge, right? That is the edge that I want to tell people. It's not about you get magical solutions or anything here. It's about having a guide or a map to help you navigate the price.
So now we have this 17 high. Ooh, nice reaction. Um,
So practice it. Okay, 17 high. What can reverse your price?
29 and 35, just with two pass.
That's it. It's as simple as that.
But as we are in a reverse algo 2,
Yeah.
we should see continuation until 59 or 65.
Yeah.
How can we map this together? Because there's no way that we can get a 35 and a 59, for example. So we would probably see 29. So ideally, if you want to see it go further down, we would see a 29 low and a 35 high to push price down. And then we see some combination of price at probably 56, which satisfies the 29.56 path and also our 59.65 path.
That's the perfect analysis that you have done, right? So we know there is no 59 with 29 or 35. So it's going to start a reverse algo too. So it's going to form a pivot at either 29 or 35. I would look at where 35 forms. If 35 forms in the high, then it is a continuation trade until 956, because 956 will give you 65.
Mm-hmm.
If we drop all the way until 35 here, then from 35 you should buy until 56 and it will be in resistance,
Yeah, that makes sense.
right? So see, you are trading the the largest index in the world, and you can easily predict, or you can map out where potential pivots can form with algo paths, right? So you already know which time can react, so that itself is an edge in the market right now. Otherwise you're not panicking at every small retracement.
So in this case, if you are short like me, you would not even have a stop loss because you know that 35 is going to probably reverse. Even if we go, let's say, all the way back to the 17 wick.
Yeah, 35 will prevent us.
Okay, yeah. I'm more comfortable with my stop at break even.
Is the same trade that you took from 830 to 835, right? So even
Yeah.
if it had gone all the way back to 3, we know 35 is there to protect us. Or this 810 high that I was talking about. Now if it's a different scenario, there we can definitely get cooked if 835 displaces and creates a gap, and then it will be like a continuation trade. So that can also happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have to take risk. Nothing is easy in trading. So 928, if it creates a low, we can't blame the market right now. It's the path is being met. So this is how you slowly take partials or increase the size a bit, so that you know these standard paths are always going to deliver for you, right? And that's how you scale from slowly to micro to mini. Yeah, it's a nice drop, right?
Lovely.
And imagine we took the trade at 907 and held it till 914. So it's the same money we made back. So look at the number of opportunities. So your psychology should all it'll be automatically fixed when you have such opportunities. You'll only get confused only when you think there is only one setup a day, and if you miss it, you miss it, and then it will start playing in your mind. Okay. So I have another 30 minutes with you. So if you have still questions or if you want me to explain some of the concepts, let me know.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, I think the biggest questions that I have is currently how you are able to kind of be able to predict how NY open behaves. So when to go long, when to go short. Because I understand that you try to match a path. So given we have a 23 or something, but sometimes it's just not clear for me.
You mean the New York Open? Let's look at some
Yeah.
examples. Okay, you walk me through, like if you go back to Friday's Open, what was your thinking? And then I will tell
So
you
let me
my
see.
thoughts.
I will just switch the tab briefly because I annotated it.
Okay.
So yeah. So this is Friday Open, for example.
Yeah.
How are you? I know that we have 23 high. So you are confident that Open is gonna go higher. Theoretically, we could just dump, right?
Yeah, we could dump because we have to take trade at 35. That's the safest way to trade. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if I took a trade at 29, that's just a, I would say I will put it in somewhere a little bit of gamble, right? It's a risk
Okay.
because, as you said, it could dump until 35, and I cannot blame the market or the algo path. But once 35 stopped, then you should get in.
Okay.
Then there is
So
no
it's just
excuse for you if you miss it, because there is also a CE timed gap it created at 36, and at the 50% you should have gotten in.
that's actually a great example. So we have the 35 high
Yeah,
directly at 35. Then we would create the 35 gap at 36. And then we have the 37 low, which never created the low. So when would you look to long this 35? Would you ever look at this? Only if we inverse the 35 gap?
correct, exactly. So for us, as I keep telling you, like CE times is showing you the direction. Now there are two CE times.
Mm.
One is the 35 high, one is the 36 gap. So there are like two PD arrays that are telling you it's going lower. There is nothing telling me that it is going higher. And even if I blindly want to long 937 also, I would wait until the FEG is inversed.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense. Okay, maybe I can find it. Just let me look. Okay. So let's see where 35 prints. Because if we see a 35 in the low, we're probably gonna go higher.
Until 56 or 950.
Okay. So do you use addition a lot with 59?
Yeah, these days I'm thinking like, even see what happens is, every that I couple of examples that I walked through with you, everything is a mirror, right? So it is using even addition as a mirror. Like that is the first option it will create, and then it will go to the minute, then it will go to the subtraction. But if I tell
Mm.
general 800 members to even consider addition, then there will be too many trades to take and you will be chopped up.
Yeah,
So that's why I would say either focus on the last one, which is the subtraction, or focus on the minute one. But I think
I
addition is
got it.
used for every GB time. That's how it creates liquidity. Earlier days I was doing addition and everything, but later I thought it's
Hmm.
not worth it.
It gets confusing very fast.
Yeah, and when market is chopping, you'll feel like every two or three candles there is an opportunity to trade because it's giving you some number.
Yeah.
So it's like this 1903 is 3, 1905 is 24. So within 2 minutes you will have to take a trade. Okay, so perfectly delivered until 36.
Okay. Let's see if we create a gap. This is probably not so smart. Let's see. So 37 is our last option of 35. This could still create a low. Okay, so now I think we go until 59 in some sort because we have 17 at the highs.
So 938 could also be 29, right? So it's just trying to take this liquidity and stopping it. And 38 is not a GB time, so I wouldn't try to match the path with it.
No, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying that there's no 35 low. So we would not look for a long.
Yeah, right.
Instead, we would want to see some 59 or some form of 59 in the lows. That's what we wanted to see.
Correct. So 17 can go to directly to 59. So this could drop until 959.
What would be other possibilities that we have to take into account
So
that
right
could
now is a good
potentially?
possibility because 938 is also 29.
So the mirror. So also, oh, okay, got it. But so let's see, 944, which would be the 35 mirror, you would not consider it because 17 and 44 don't have a relationship.
Yes, but you have to think here in the 18 week you also have 14. Like it's just a turtle soup, right? So I have seen this. Like I don't know the actual rules, but right now the market is looking at 14 and 18 as the same thing. Like it's the same highs, equal highs.
Oh yes, I forgot
Now
about
if
that.
this
Yeah.
18 had broken above 15, like there was a body close, then I wouldn't consider 14. But here the
Okay.
14 is just sitting there. So 14 and 44 has a relation.
So this 944 actually might be an interesting time because it matches both highs, so both our references.
Correct. And if you look
Okay,
at
yeah.
901 is also in the wick where 903 created, which means this could easily be algo 1 as well.
Yes.
And like a new algo 1,
Mm.
right? And if it's too much confusing, right, now you got a really good trade, now you don't have to really enter this long. Just leave it out, let it play out, and you will get another opportunity. Now in this 1.5 hours, we were able to take, I think, 2 or 3 trades, and apart from one loss, I think the other two were wins, right? So slowly pace it down, and when it makes absolute sense, then only you try to take a trade. Okay? But never short just because you thought, okay, 35 didn't create a low, I will immediately short. Don't do that,
Okay.
because then you will think, okay, it will definitely go and dump until 950. No, but there might be other algos in play which we are not tracking.
Okay. So let's say this 14 never was in the high and we only have 17 as our reference. So 11 and 14 did not create any significant swing highs or swing lows.
Yeah.
Will you then still consider 944 as a
No.
valid opportunity?
No. Because for me,
No.
either
Okay.
35 is the one that should react, because 17 to 35 is a path, or it
Yeah.
should go to 1759, sorry, 959 to meet a path.
Okay. So even though this 944 might be a 35 mirror, as the
No.
minutes don't match, you would not look for it.
No. But I
Okay,
would
got
look
it.
at if
Awesome.
935 created a low, and if 945 or 4 creates a high, then I would try to short, because now 35 and
Okay,
44
because it's the
has
mirror.
mirror. Yeah.
Okay,
To
got it. Okay.
target the 17 high, I would not long 944. Now if you think, see the say simple things, right? Like 850 will only work at 914 or 911.
Yeah.
The 918, yeah, it was a turtle soup, but you shouldn't get confused. The first high was 914. So that's why it came all the way down to 50. So for you to take this 14 high or 18 high, it has to match a minute path here. Then only you should long, otherwise don't long. All the trades that we took, they all matched with the path. So here also same thing, 46 to 11, big move. Here 50 to 11, big move. Okay.
I can see it, yeah.
Now 944 is creating a low. Now since
Okay.
now it will be high as well, so I don't know, like I don't want to long this. Now if we break and continue higher, then we know this 44 is a CE timed gap, we can use it to push price higher.
And you mean we break the 942 high? Or
Yeah,
which
and then
high do
if
you
it
mean?
continues higher, then it
Yeah.
will leave this gap open, right? So we don't chase the price, let it come back into the gap, then we can buy. Now 938 is low. So what can bring the price down?
Some sort of 47.50.
Yeah, just do the mirror of it, right? 938 plus 38 plus 9 is 47. So since this is 29, you're going to get probably price come down from 47.
Can you explain this again? So we have 938 in the lows, which is our 29.
Correct.
And now you would look for 47 because it's 38 plus 9?
Right. So I told you any low, it can stop at either its mirror or its path. Now 38 is not a GB time. So there is no minute matching here. We cannot match a path with 38th minute. So we have to either consider subtraction, which is 29,
Mm-hmm.
and then 47 should drop it, because it is a mirror. 9 plus 38 is 47. It's a mirror. The same thing every time it happens. Here 828 is the low, 837 is the mirror, 8 plus 29 is 37.
Okay. I've never considered mirrors like this.
So if 47 creates a high, that's a good shot for you.
So now we do have like a decent candle to go lower. However, I would want to see the next candle to close to confirm that it's a high.
Yeah.
Would you do it differently?
For me, one more confluence is that we are at 934, 935 candle, right? So we are not able to break that 935 candle, which means we are not able to go above it. So that is one
Okay.
confluence that you can use to immediately short. So we are trying to risk limit our risk, right? Now if you wait until
Mm.
948 close and then try to get in, SL will become too big. So this is where you need to adapt to this 35, 34 candles, which tells you a story as well. Why is it not allowed to move higher than this? Because there is a 35 candle. Or else you have to wait until retracement into the volume imbalance or the wicks and then take a shot. Right now, if you take a shot, you are risking way too much.
You
Almost
want to see retrace?
12 points. Now, this is a good area to short at 950, because now CE time is also in resistance. Now if we break out of here, okay, good luck to the market, because now it broke out of the 35 area as well,
Mm-hmm. And you
and
would think it would
that
go
is
higher.
an acceptable loss for us. It's fine.
So you would hold this short ideally until 11, but I mean, 56 could reverse,
Yeah,
00 could do reverse. So
56
we have to
could do
keep those in
reverse.
mind
Can you tell me why 56 could do reverse?
because it's the last possible option of this 47.
And also it's a mirror,
Is
right? 47 plus 9 is 56.
oh yes. Okay, it's funny. I've never looked at mirrors using addition. That's
I mean, all it is telling you is okay, 47 is the high, 56 low means it is the same 47 being printed in support.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So direction is changing, that's it.
But even without having the mirror at 47, it could change the direction, right?
Yeah, because it's the last CE time. I mean, it could happen
Yeah.
with other numbers. Here you have four different times that can flip your bias. 47, 50, 53, 56, all of these. So see how many concepts that you can combine here, and it just takes 1 month of really focused practice, right? You can not only you're trading with the entire algo path, you are looking at these 35 highs and lows or 35 candles gaps. That can also tell you a story. Matching minutes, trying to anticipate where your 65 is going to form. Now you shouldn't forget that you are in algo 2 reverse now, right? So 956 is also 65.
Yeah.
This entire price action from 44 8 or 744 to 803, not many would touch it, but we were able to get in almost every trade, or at least analyze them perfectly with respect to algo paths.
Mm, that's true.
And imagine when the market is really trending, on some days NQ is just moving up and down, creating big ranges. Those days are the best to maximize on your knowledge. And if you really learn to how to trade this chop, then you can trade any market. So this also delivered, right? It's perfect. 29 to 47 to 56.
Let's see. So 56 has now our eye.
Yes. And you also should understand how the short is delivered, right? The short is delivered is not in an expansive way. It is not, it's just chopping around. So it just means it is accumulating short longs to go big at either 956 or 959, because right now our long, I mean high is reference is 17, right? So 17 can
Mm-hmm.
stop at 959 only. There is no other liquidity sweep apart from that 70. So market can do something like this. It can create 957 low, 958 is in that low, and then go higher. 957 can also be part of your reverse algo too.
Makes sense.
Okay, so I'll cut my trade here, 956. So it doesn't matter the another 1 or 2 minutes. But following strictly the algo paths without giving into greed or fear or whatever, it's gonna help you.
Okay.
And remember at the beginning of the session I told you the 734 low, right? To mark that. So look at that. That is where price is stopping.
I do see it.
Okay, I think we are coming to almost 2 hours session. Uh, if you had any questions, you can always reach out to me in Discord and I can answer them. Uh, anyways, this video will be posted so that you can keep it for yourself and watch it if you want.
Awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You gave me many insights.
Right, and I wish
I
to see
hope.
you implement this and also be an inspiration to others, because I'm sure whatever problems you have, 100 other people might have the same issue, so they can learn from your experience.
I hope so too.
Okay, thank you, Michael, for your time. I wish you a great
Thank
trading
you very
day,
much.
and I'll keep in touch. Okay, take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.